Mm, 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 mm. Taylor, Taylor. I hope I don't call you. Okay, we have Mr. Chris Kavanagh in the house. Chris, where are you dialing in from, Chris?
I'm in Canada. I'm near the capital city.
Oh, nice. Awesome. Well, Closest University, welcome, welcome, welcome. We have a great guest over here, as you guys know, Mr. Chris Kavanagh, all the way from Canada, who is going to be giving us a super. Well, I call my setters super setters. Once I've trained them, they're not appointment setters anymore. They're super setters because I that's in the middle of my name on Instagram. It's Jabran Super Khan. I really want this training, Chris. Well, first of all, it's nice to have you, on the live. I
Yeah.
really want this to be, Chris, your best training ever. I really do. I really want this to be your best training ever, so we can, remember this for years to come. But look, thank you so much for, joining us and providing value to the community. But I would love to get to know you as well, Chris. So we'll first start off with like, who's Chris? What's your story? And how did you land into the world of high ticket sales and appointment setting?
It's a good question. Thank you for having me. I'm very, very lucky to be here. I started out in online high ticket sales in June 2020. It was actually right after I graduated high school. I wasn't going to college. COVID was locked down. I didn't have access to really any of my friends anymore. There was no prom, no nothing. So I made a decision of myself of
Prom.
okay, yeah, yeah. And I was like, you know, man, like I need to learn how to make money online. I need to learn how this works. And then one day, like I'm sure many of you have gone through, you were sold on an advertisement or some sort of marketing led you to this space that was selling you the dream of high ticket sales, making 10K a month. But the one thing that those ads never do is they don't tell you the harsh realities of what it's like to land a role, succeed in sales, and all that stuff. So my initial year or two, like I was just in Facebook groups networking with people. I didn't make a single cent online for the first like 9 months. I was networking in Facebook. Um, After a while, I met a lot of like-minded people that ended up referring me to specific positions. And I've been very fortunate to this point, 2 years in, to have worked with some of the bigger info product education companies in the space, more notably Jeremy Miner, Iman Gadzhi, and a few others. Um, I started out at Jeremy's company, man. I was one of his original DM setters. So if you're in his group, you've probably seen there's people messaging. I was very fortunate to be one of his first ones. Um, from there, I was a setter for 9 months. I got this award right here, Charlie of the Month, probably like 7 or 8 times because I had unbeatable setting records. I then
The Charlie
ended
of the
up.
month. I remember Taylor talking about this as well, actually. What's a Charlie of the month?
So what the Charlie of the Month is not only for seventh level, but all of Sales Sniper. Basically, what Sales Sniper was and still is it's a done for you sales company, and it works for like dozens of clients and they place closers in. And out of all of those setters on all of those accounts, I won the most revenue generated for like 6 months in a row. They stopped sending me it because I had so many. Um, I also won Sales Sniper. I broke it. Sorry, Jeremy. I won the most improved award for 1 full year out of everyone in the company. So as I was DM sitting, I rose the ranks, becoming one of the top SDRs, top closers at one point. And then I ended up going more into management, like managing setters, training setters. I've coached hundreds of appointment setters and salespeople at this point. I've then taken my expertise and done training and coaching for companies like Iman Gadzhi, coached his whole sales team and setting team. And that's kind of where my journey started. It was all humble beginnings, but I feel like a lot of people can kind of like relate to the starting point of not knowing what you're doing, networking in communities, and it's
Oh,
definitely
let's have
possible
a
to get
look
results.
at actually, because we we were speaking off camera as well, and we were talking about how we started at the same kind of time at the at seventh level as well. So what month was it? So I want you to rewind back. What month was it in 2020 that you came across the high ticket world?
June 2020.
June 2020, and you got a role 9 months after that.
Yes, actually, my first role, and I'm incredibly grateful for this, was I worked for JD Daily, and I helped him launch the Undeniable Closer Mastermind.
Wow.
And then I
Oh,
got a position with Jeremy right after.
oh, nice. I think with me, see, it's crazy. Yours was 9 months. I came across the high ticket sales space. I think it was briefly, I can't even fully remember, but I know it was through a Dan Lok video. It was
Yeah, it's very
100%
common.
through a
Yeah,
Dan Lok video. And I was like, oh my God, like, what's this ticket sales? Like, I want to sell tickets if it's making me 20, 30 grand.
yeah,
And then the more I looked into it, I remember seeing the webinar and everything. And we actually were on the well, I was on the Sales Sniper mentorship. It was like it was a free mentorship that they were doing, scholarship kind of thing. And I remember at the time I was so excited to go on there as well. And this happens to me all the time, all the time. Whenever I'm waiting for something to happen and I'm praying to God and I'm working towards it and everything, all of a sudden, like I would go months without anything, and then all of a sudden, God just showers his mercy upon you and you get everything thrown in your lap. So I get the number one influencer that I was really wanting to work with, and the number one company that I wanted to get training and learn from as well, like Sales
yeah,
Sniper, were the ones that everyone was talking about at the time. And I get both opportunities at the same time. And now I'm at
yeah,
crossroads. I'm like, where the hell do I go? And I was like, screw it. Let me do both. But as you know, as males, very few of us are able to multitask. So I went
yeah.
about doing it like for a couple of weeks, and then I ended up getting booted off seventh levels mentorship
They
because
were
I
pretty
couldn't keep
strict
up.
there. Yeah, they were
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
strict.
they were, and I tried to keep on top of it, but I like I'm an all or nothing guy, and I was going all in with Kevin David, and I was still trying to look at the training because I love training, I love working on myself, and then eventually I just got the boot from there, and I was like, screw it, now I'm just gonna fully focus with Kevin David because if this doesn't go through, I've even messed up that opportunity as well. But thank God things went well with Kevin. But talk me through your time. So your first role was with JD Daily. How was that?
It was
Well,
amazing.
actually, pause. There's so much I want to ask you, bro. But I want you to tell me like your experience. You know those 9 months, because I think we're both skipping over that. You know, easily
Yeah,
because I struggled for a while. I struggled. I was trying to navigate my way for a whole year until I landed a role. Yours was 9 months. Talk us
yeah,
through everything that you were going through for those 9 months and bumps and humps and all
yeah.
sorts.
So I was working a 9 to 5 as I was in the online space. I spent all of my paychecks investing into courses that are like sales training or placement or anything in that regard. I didn't have any success. I mean, you could blame the course, but it's just for responsibility of myself. I just didn't take enough action, maybe. But um, like with like the 9 months. I think a lot of people come into this space and they have this mentality of they want to escape their 9 to 5 right away. They want to make money online, but that's further than the truth. Like in order to make money online, you have to be valuable. How you become valuable is you give value and you learn lessons. And it took me 8 to 9 months to understand how to communicate my value to people, which would then in turn get me into position, which would make me money. And I think a lot of people struggle with that. It's like, yeah, appointment setting is one skill set, communication, but like how else can you make another business valuable outside of appointment setting? And that's how I was fortunate enough to get these opportunities really early on because I showed to them that, yes, I'm an okay appointment setter and I can produce, but I can also help you out in many other areas. And I still don't know what I'm doing, right? But people buy your confidence, right? And it doesn't take too much to actually put in the work to learn the skill sets to do these things so that you can become more valuable as an appointment setter and, ascend in your career. So super cool.
How were you? And it's so important that you add because there's so many things that you just said there as well. But in terms of like value, and it's crazy because I was having this conversation with Imran Farouk, and he was like, "There's this one setter," and I think because they hear this topic and term of like provide value and always lead with value, and there's this up and coming setter that he messages me and Imran at the same time, and bless him, he's trying to help us, but he doesn't realize what he's doing, and he's coming across like very he was basically trying to give Imran sales tips and tricks about how to run his whatever sales training that he was doing. And I was like, bro, what are you doing? And he was quite
Yeah.
annoying Imran as well. Like, and Imran's thinking to himself, like, bro, do you actually not know I've been a sales trainer for like 25 years, like longer than you've been alive. And it's subtle, and he was just trying to give value, but he was in turn he was ticking him off. And it's like
Yeah.
sometimes people message you and they're like, "Oh, I want to be of value to you." You don't
Yeah.
use your brain.
Well, that's the thing. If you, I think JD taught me this. Like, if you're asking someone how can I provide value, you've already lost.
Lost. You haven't taken the time out to understand who's in front of you. What could be their pains and problems? It's like with me. I every day I either get people that want to teach me SEO, want to teach me how to do thumbnails, or they want to do my this for me, they want to do that, they want to help me with my YouTube and everything. I'm thinking to myself, like, of course, have worked within marketing and big companies, etc., and whatever, and I know how to do all of this, but I just don't have time to do any of that. And to be quite frank, I'm not even trying to monetize this as big as as some people may think it to be. And I know this could be a multi-million dollar business, but I don't want to
Yeah.
run a business right now. I'm loving the life of clothing and managing closes. And so many times, and I'm thinking to myself, this is the wrong way. Even outreach, if you're outreaching to someone, like, look, if I was going to outreach to me, let's just say if I was going to outreach to me, and I specialize in thumbnails, like I can help you make creative thumbnails on YouTube, etc. Do you know what I would do? I would actually look at my YouTube channel. Okay, there's a thumbnail I can change. That's a thumbnail I can change. I would freaking make it, and I'll be like, "Hey, Jabran, here you go, bro. Here's some thumbnails to help you with your business." And
And you
hey,
know what's crazy, bro? It takes 5 minutes to do, but nobody does it.
exactly. It's those little things. And I know how to do it. Just go on to bloody Canva and you can do it. But it's value. You're leading with value. But it's a lot of people, they don't understand this. They don't understand it, and they end up just being this. And I always say to people, you need to stand out. You need to stand out from the crowd. You have to stand out from the crowd.
Yeah.
But I'll hand it over to you, bro, and we'll keep going from you in the sense that so talk us through your journey from moving on in the space, like the first few months. How was it?
It was rough. One thing that I was very fortunate to have was the right vehicle. Now, one thing that people overcomplicate, especially appointment setters, is they think that they need the right skill sets and they need the right script and they need the right knowledge to actually get into a high level position. But what I like what I realized after those 9 months of not getting any results, I was providing so much value to these people that it became very hard for them not to notice me or not
Mm,
to hire me. But once I was hired, it's extremely rough because even if you're in a great vehicle like seventh level, there's higher standards and there's higher expectations that you have to go through. So it was a whole learning curve. I don't think there's anything that you can do to get around that, especially if you're starting. But as long as you're in a good vehicle and as long as you have opportunities, it's the best thing in the world. And the reason why is because everything that you want in life, doesn't matter if it's with business or your personal life, anything you want in life is on the other side of your ability to communicate it. So why appointment setting so good is like if you know how to sell yourself and sell other people, you're going to be able to get anything that you want out of your life. But the truth is that if you don't have the right vehicle to learn those skill sets, then you are not going to be able to have that success. But the vehicle is really important about what you're in.
You know, when you said you were providing value for 9 months, it's a long time, bro. Long time to be providing value. It's long enough for a whole baby to come about.
Yeah, bro.
What kind of value were you providing?
So I think anyone can do this in any industry. You got to look at the industry as a whole, the communities that you're in, the companies that are in the business, like in the industry, and you have to understand, okay, what do they have and what do they not have? One thing that has always been an issue, that will always be an issue, is proper placement of appointment setters, proper infrastructures for managing those appointment setters, proper social media training so that they can optimize their group, optimize their Facebook profile. So I would just supply small increments of referrals through setters, helping them out with a little piece of their editing. And one thing you said very important is like you don't have to be amazing at these things of like editing or pointing out problems. But one thing that business owners value is trying. Like the amount of times whenever I was working with Jeremy that I had like horrible ideas and horrible solutions to problems. I wasn't viewed down upon by the people that I was working with. I was actually viewed higher up because although they weren't the best solutions, I was putting in the effort to get recognized that I was bought into the company. So the effort is more important than the action. If people notice that you're going above and beyond,
Mm.
99% of people, you're going to be ahead of 99% of people. And that's how I've gotten in the position that I am today. Just giving a little bit more. It doesn't require any extra hours. It's just about thinking like, who do you want to work with? Why do you want to work with them? What are their problems? How can I give them so much free value and attention that they can't not ignore me?
It just goes back to being a sales professional, as in, like, even when you're doing setting or closing and you're trying to identify, okay, what is the problem that this prospect has that I can maybe provide a solution for? How could I uncover the current problems that they're having to provide my solution? And I really believe it's being solution orientated, and just and feeding into those solutions and giving. I don't know. You may be of someone a bit like, oh, but what kind of value can I provide? Well, look, go like this YouTube call right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is providing value to others, but
Yeah.
we're getting an insight into Chris, how he, and this is where I'm going to get to, and I want you to get specific, is what kind of value was Chris providing in those Facebook groups to these influencers, to these business owners that maybe everybody else here watching can take heed from, and maybe not do exactly the same, but maybe can do the exactly the same, but they can also learn from was the kind of value that you were providing.
Hmm. So value can come in many different ways. It can come from a video that you're posting online to these communities, the feedback that you're giving in the comment sections of other people's posts. It can be simple feedback of someone that you've been seeing on how they can improve their business. But it's become so easy now to provide value that if you sit back for a second and if you look at someone that you want to work with, all you have to do is understand their business and leverage artificial intelligence to say, hey, this is his business model. This is what he's doing. How can he make it a little bit better? It's so simple. So I'll put it like this. We all have access to the same information in the world. Me, you, everyone else on this call. Harvard courses online are free. You can get access to hundreds of thousands of dollars of training for free. So because we all have access to the same information, what's really different between the successful and unsuccessful? It's application, right? So
Mm.
if you like if you as a person, if you're serious about making money online and scaling and getting access to the right networks and right people, committing time to researching who you want to work with and understanding how things like AI work, you will be ahead of 99% of people. I say that honestly because that's how I've gone here and that's how many other people in similar positions as me. It's not hard to provide value if you sit there in a quiet room for 20 minutes and think. The problem is that we have attention spans of fishes, and then we think about we want to work with this guy, and then we go do some research on this website, then we get a text notification on our phone, then we're on Instagram for an hour, then we're like, what the hell happened? But it just requires focus. If you have focus, you'll be ahead of 99% of people. I promise you that.
Mm, that's crazy. I'm gonna dig a bit more deeper now. It feels like I'm on a sales call and I'm not getting the full answer. What did you do? What did you do to provide value in seventh level?
To initially get there,
Or even get there, and then once you got there as well, like what did you do in
good,
your first few weeks?
good question. So whenever I was in seventh level, I was labeled as an appointment setter. I just set appointments.
Mhm.
But what I did at the company to get there grow so fast was I was not only an appointment setter, but I was coaching clients. I was doing customer service. I was onboarding sales reps. I was training sales reps. I was managing a community. I was managing a CRM. So I did so many roles in there as an appointment setter that I didn't wasn't asked to do in the same amount of time
Wow.
that it became um really hard for me not to move up. And I did almost every single role in seventh level, besides CEO and stuff like that. But obviously, but yeah. How I like to encourage people to do this is like appointment setting can get your foot in the door of 99% of businesses, but what can get you to make more money and grow is a generalized knowledge base of how business works and becoming more of like a growth specialist. Like learning how ads work, learning how copy works, learning how sales work. It's not that hard. And again, you don't have to be a professional at giving these things. It's the thought that counts, which is way more important. And as you get better with recommending these solutions and these problems, you'll get better and you'll get better solutions, and then you'll help them make more money. So super interesting. Just always have a value first mindset. Give without asking for anything in return. It'll always come back to you.
Crazy. You reminded me of a quote. I don't even know if I'm going to say it right now as well. Like if the guy that does more than he's paid for today will get paid for more than he does tomorrow.
Yeah. It depends. Look, how I view it is I'm young. I want to work hard now. I want to build the network now. I want to provide as much value to these people's lives right now. So in 3, 4, 5 years, I'm not gonna have to worry about finances. My family's gonna be taken care of. I'm gonna have the best network. I'm gonna have all the opportunities. So it's a choice. If you're not in this for the long game, you can just keep on being like every other appointment setter and just
Hmm.
commenting me under all of these posts and
Oh my
just
God.
waiting for these opportunities. Or you could go a bit above and beyond, focus on quality over quantity, find who you want to work with, understand who they are, who's in their business, and where they want to go, and doing your best to sit yourself in a quiet room for 20 minutes and figure out what are my skill sets and what do they need. And luckily, you can use things like AI and the power of the internet and Google to find out how to provide those solutions if you don't know how to. But really, what it requires is if you want to make a lot of money appointment setting in this online space is like you have to have a knack for identifying issues. You don't have to have the solution for them, but you just have to identify them.
That's interesting. That is so interesting, as in knack for identifying.
Hmm.
This So give us an example of like identifying certain problems that you probably see in like normal businesses right now after having worked, this
Yeah.
role and with businesses.
So there's things that are called lead and lag indicators in businesses, and those are specific data points or specific things in businesses that are showing you direct results or results that aren't producing. So I'll give you an example. In seventh level, we weren't converting as much leads through social media than we were expecting. We were getting 100 leads booked in and we were converting around 10 out of 100. Okay. So what is the lag indicator there? Where are those other 90 appointments going? The issue was that they didn't have a properly organized CRM and the team wasn't properly managing their setters. So how do you fix this? It's very simply, you recommend to clean up the CRM, have a tighter confirmation process, and just like that, you can double your sales from 10 out of 100 to 20 out of 100 just by fixing small things. So if you're not getting the results in any area of business, like it doesn't take a wise man to identify the issue. It just requires a lot of logic most of the time. And I know that's hard for some people to understand, but like, because people think like these marketers and people that do these specific things, like they're special and only they can do them. But it's relatively easy to learn these things. Again, if you take time to focus, to build the infrastructure, to become the person that will make a lot of money, you will get there. I'll give you an example. Have you like do you live in a city right now? Or
Birmingham City.
whatever. So just imagine like you live in a city right now. If you look up at all these buildings up in the sky, they're thousands of feet up in the air. Do you think that the construction company just came in and placed the business or the building flat on the ground and started building up? Or do you feel like the construction company built deep rooted infrastructures so that the building should scale high to the top without any chance of it falling due to any crazy storms? You got to think of yourself as the same with appointment setting or sales. Like you're at the bottom, but how you become more valuable and how you make more money in your career is not only understanding how to sell, because that's one part of it. It's like, how can you solve generalized business problems and how can you be a problem finder and a problem solver? Biggest
Hmm.
takeaway from Jeremy Miner. Jeremy always talks about being a problem finder, not a product pusher. You need to be able to have a knack to find problems, and they're everywhere. You just have to open up your eyes to them.
Percent problem finder. And then again, as you said, you found the problem, put it in Chat GPT, it will give you the solution. It will give you the
Yeah.
solution right
And
away.
look, some people are going to be like, oh my God, I don't know how AI works. I don't know how ChatGPT works. It's like, just watch a 15-minute YouTube video. You'll be ahead of everyone that doesn't know how to. Like these issues that I hear people have, they're so like it's just like do something about it. Like you clearly don't want the results that you want because you're not willing to put in the 10, 15 minutes to actually do it. So like I'm no better than anyone on this call. I'm not smarter, I'm not more handsome, I'm not nothing. But all I've done is I've put in an extra 10 to 15% more work than most people.
It's that extra. It's that extra, man. And it's like, with me, when I came into the personal development, area and journey of my life, about 10 years ago. And I used to hear a lot. I'm someone that's very observant of like who I'm around and what excuses people make. Because I'm like, I don't want to make those excuses. And
Yeah.
some people would be like, oh, I don't have this much time and I can't do this and I can't do that. I don't have time. And I was like, that's the biggest farce anyone can come up with. Like, you don't have time. You don't have time to personally develop. I'm like, okay, that's strange. And then when I speak to them and I ask them about like, okay, tell me a bit about your life. What time do you wake up in the morning? Oh, do you okay? And look, let's just say, putting that extra time into like personally develop as a setter. And I really believe why do you need to personally develop not only as a setter, but just as a human being? Because you're gonna get directly paid in the proportion of your personal development. The more you develop, the more money, the more value you bring to the workplace, and that's how you're going to be compensated as well.
Yeah.
And I would always do this with people. I'm like, okay, cool. You don't have no time to personally develop, and you don't have time to listen to these trainings and that training. And okay, cool. Okay, what time do you wake up in the morning? Oh man, I wake up so early. I have to go wake up so early and go to work. Okay, cool. How long does it take you to get ready in the morning? About 30 minutes. Okay, we got 30 minutes. So you wake up at what do? Talk me through once you get out of bed. Oh, and they look at me weird. I'm like, okay, honestly, this lesson that I'm teaching everybody right now, I swear to God, will put you years ahead of the normal people. Because most
Yeah.
people, they make excuses. And I'm like, okay, so you wake up in the morning, do you go for a shower? Yeah, well, of course I go for a shower. How long do you spend in the shower? Oh, I spend 20 minutes. Some people spend an hour, but let's just say 20 minutes. So 20 minutes, having a shower, brushing your teeth, everything, that's about 25 minutes. Okay, cool. How long does it take you to get ready? Oh, ironing my clothes, making my breakfast, eating my breakfast. That's probably an hour. So that's an hour in the morning that you could get your mobile phone, put it on loudspeaker, download whatever you want to download or play it off YouTube and have it freaking playing in the background whilst you're in the
Yeah.
shower, whilst you're getting ready.
Yeah. And I'll note this because I used to be the same way that you were describing. I had all this extra time, I had all this extra energy. I want to explain a kind of a concept that I think will really help a lot of people here. One thing that someone told me whenever I was at seventh level, and it always stuck with me, is that there's only two emotions in the whole world, and the rest are byproducts of these emotions. Do you know what these emotions are?
Tell me, bro. Only two emotions.
There's fear and love. And every other emotion, stress, anxiety, is a byproduct of fear or love because that's why you're stressed or anxious about it, right? So the reason why I didn't go all in on my personal development and my health and getting business was because I was fucking terrified. I was terrified of the person that I was going to become, the money that I was going to make, and I had this truly deeply rooted belief that like I wasn't capable of doing it and I wasn't worth the person. And I think a lot of people, the reason why they're not where they want to be is because of that fear. They're in this space because maybe they're fearful of what happens if they're not in this space, and maybe they're fearful of what happens if they can't support the family that they love, but they're fearful to take action. And I can tell you this as someone that's been extremely like I've had low self-esteem my whole life. I've been someone that has never looked at myself at like a super high level. And I'm telling you guys, like if you get past that and if you just push yourself and if you put in the work, it will become very hard for you not to get the results that you want. It's everything that you tell yourself. It's your subconscious. I know that sounds silly, but the things that you tell yourself every day in your brain are going to illuminate into your reality. There's many books on this. It's not religious, it's not spiritual, it's just the truth, right? 90% of our thoughts are subconscious. So the way you look at yourself and stuff like that, it will take time to work on and you're gonna have to get better. But never downplay your capabilities is what I'm trying to say. Because you're more capable than you can ever imagine. And I say that because I've been in your position before and I've had those beliefs. So I would say a lot of you aren't successful because of a fear. I'd recommend you sitting there and figuring out what is that fear? Is it me not being good enough? Is it me feeling like I'll never amount to anything? Like figure that out and talk good things. Talk good things to yourself because you're probably like really hard on yourself, just like I was with me. So
Tell us if you don't mind sharing as well, as in like what was going through your mind at the time and what were you feeling about yourself?
yeah, like whenever I was coaching for Iman's company and I was working like really high level with Jeremy, I was like, I don't belong here. It's like these people are way older than me. They're way smarter than me. They have way more talent than me. They have way more experience than me. It's like, why am I here? But then I remembered that I'm here for a reason. And I feel like if you and I was here because I put in that 10% effort more than other people. So I'm telling you, you can get access to the best network with the best people. If you just
Believe it,
every time you
man.
have a negative thought, isolate it, remind yourself why you're having a negative thought and just putting in a little bit more work than everyone else. And in a year or two, you'll be farther ahead than everyone.
Mm.
Because one thing that this world lacks is consistency. We can all do one thing for a day, work out for one day, read a book for one day, but having that discipline to be consistent is the most important part. So
What would you say to a lot of people? Because look, you know how we were consistent and we were like persistent as well, as in like 9 months and a year for me, after discovering the industry. But then again, I probably got like shiny object syndrome because it was COVID. And I was just looking at everything. I was like, okay, there's high ticket sales over here. There's this thing called affiliate marketing over here. There's drop shipping over there. Oh, I could become a coach as well. So I was looking at everything and coming back and forth to high ticket. Um, what would you say to people that are, they're basically in months 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or even I don't know 1 year of you know, being exposed to this industry, but they're in the same place as they
Yeah.
started.
Well, I think first and foremost, with those kind of people that are new, that are in the same space, you got to give yourself credit because doing something like this and taking a leap and trying to make money online in of itself says a lot about who you are as a person and where your goals are and where your ambitions are. If you're still here after 2, 3, 4 months and you haven't quit yet, it just shows that you are built for more, but you also have the drive to do great things. So first and foremost, if you haven't gotten results, don't be so hard on yourself. It's extremely normal. Even if you're not putting in all the work because you're confused or paralyzed by fear, just know that it's perfectly normal. It's normal to be paralyzed by fear and lack of action. But just know that as long as you keep on going and as long as you are clear about where you want to go, who you want to work with, and you do your best to provide value to that marketplace in the many ways that we've talked about, it will become very hard for you not to get the results that you want. And you don't have to work 80 hours a week to do it.
It's
So,
crazy. It's crazy. So let me change it up a bit now because I know we've got quite a few new people on the live, and people are going to see this after it's gone live as well. So imagine if I was a new starter, Chris, like me, Jabran. I've come new into the industry and I'm looking at appointment setting. What would be your best advice, or what roadmap would you lay out for me? Let's just say if you were my coach.
mhm. So it depends on your skill set level. Like some people just naturally have the ability to be talented in sales. They have that drive and they have that commitment. I'll give you an example. This is an analogy you probably learned in the boot camp. So there's two kinds of people. There's a fat kid running to an ice cream truck. He's in a park and he's just playing sports. He's super hot. Hear me out. He sees an ice cream truck across the park. He knows that it's a hot summer day. He wants that ice cream. So he's running towards that ice cream. Now, I have a question for you. On the flip side, there's another guy that's in a house that's burning down. Which person do you feel like is running with more urgency? The one running out of a burning building or the one running towards an ice cream truck?
Set burning building.
Right. Why?
My man's gonna get burned.
Right. Because his life's on the line, right? So a lot of people in this space, they're thinking about this online space like running to an ice cream truck, where it's not, you don't necessarily need it. It's nice to have, but you're not going to like run out of a burning building as fast as you would to get to the ice cream truck. So, for instance, if you're just in this industry and you're kind of running towards that ice cream truck, then you're probably not going to go too far. The people that are successful are the ones that are running out of a burning building. They have urgency in their step to actually make a move to put themselves in those positions. And if you are running out of that burning building, and if you have that urgency to support your family so that you can have financial freedom, so you can get your goals, then all you have to do is put yourself in a position to perform because no amount of sales training will make you a better teacher than if you have a personal situation that you need to get done. Like the amount of salespeople that I know, so the most successful salespeople and appointment setters I know, they don't follow a script. They don't invest in the sales training. Their sales training is that burning building. You get what I'm saying? So with this being said, like if you're just starting, like do the reps, do the volume. You have to put yourself in a position to get yourself in a good vehicle so you can actually have that skill set of communication. Because, like I said, everything that you want in life is on the other side of your ability to communicate it, right? So once you're starting, getting a place where you can just dial leads is essential because once you know how to sell yourself and sell other people on ideas, you're going to be able to do anything you want in life and you're never going to be out of work. So if you're running out of a burning building, paired with a right vehicle, you will do amazing, regardless of the training you go through.
1,000,000%, man. I love that analogy, man. And I had forgot it actually. And it's only when
Yeah.
you mentioned the burning building, I remembered it. It's
Yeah.
crazy. And I kind of pair this up with, and I tell the guys as well, to have a big reason why as to why you're doing what you're doing. And you know, it was something that I got told by my mentors. If your reason why doesn't make you cry, it's not big enough. Your
Yes.
reason why needs to make you cry. And it can't be about you. It has to be bigger than you as well. It can't just be about you getting a new car or, new house or whatever. And for me, my reason why was to retire my dad. I just
Yeah.
needed to retire him. I wanted a better life for my family. And then as I started doing these things, my reason why just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And right now, my reason why I've got a £500,000 orphanage I'm building. And the crazy thing is, and I keep adding to this big reason why. Now I've got a million reasons why to
Yeah.
why I need to do what I do. There's thousands of people that I'm coaching and mentoring that I'm changing lives from. How can I stop doing what I'm doing? There's
Yeah.
it's the orphanage that we're building in Gambia. And that was
Yeah.
just one orphanage that we were building. And then it was only when I visited Gambia and I saw the poverty all over Gambia, and we went to visit the current orphanages there. And I was like, oh my God, there's all of these orphanages, and we're building one. What about all of these guys? What about all of their orphanages? And from there, I was like, I need to make £1 million a month. I need to make a million. I need to make a million because I've got a million reasons to go and bless all of these people. And
Yeah.
and for me, look, for me now, like making money is just a game. It's
Yeah.
literally just a game that I just need to figure out to
Yeah.
to play at a higher level. And that's
Uh,
all it is.
yeah. I want to touch on something really important. Um, that you said. So having a vision and a goal. I know what it's like to be young, maybe semi-depressed, not having anything going for you in your career. You're looking for an opportunity. Even if you know you need to make money to support your family, and even if you know you have all these big whys, sometimes it just doesn't hit you for some reason. Well, like you have all these things to work towards, and you know that you have all of these people to support, but that still won't get you up in the morning. If you have those kind of issues, I promise you from experience, they will pass. You will find your purpose. You will find your bigger why as long as you keep on moving forward. So one thing I think it's important to emphasize is that if you don't have your end goal and your why 100% yet, it's fine. But what you need to have is a direction. A direction and discipline will keep you ahead. And I promise you, if you do that over time, you will find that purpose. You will find that why.
What about the guys that have been going at this for like months, maybe a year, and they haven't really moved forward? What's your
That
advice to them?
um, I would look at myself in the mirror and ask myself if I'm doing everything that I can to put myself in the best positions to get to those results. And if you've been doing it for 8 months, then I highly doubt you're doing it because how many hours are in a day? 24. How many hours do you work at your 9 to 5 job? Eight. How many hours do you sleep? Eight. You have 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you still haven't found something. You can't do too much for those kind of people. Again,
Uh,
they're running towards an ice cream truck. They're not running towards out of a burning
Oh,
building.
it could be. It could be. And it's something one of my mentors said to me as well, is like stop trying to look outwards with a magnifying glass, as in like what's going wrong there and what's right there and whatever. Just go put the mirror in front of you and look at yourself and look at what you're doing yourself. maybe what you're doing is not working. Maybe you need to level up. Maybe you need to improve. And it's that self improvement that I see lacking in people. And sometimes, like I've been running this now for like I think it's been what, a year now, nearly a year, well, like 10 months. And, and some of the guys, and I love all of them to bits, but some of them are like the same as I first saw them. They're just the same. And I'm like, there's no diver. And they say to me they've been through my content. I freaking know they haven't been through my content. Because if they had, and I always say to them, repetition is the mother of learning. But they haven't.
Mhm.
And I can tell straight away because I say to them, I want to know who's gone through my content. I say to them, I want to see your personalized takeaways in the videos, on the comment section of the videos. So I know that you've gone through them and you go through them again. Repetition is the mother of learning. But some of these guys, I don't know, they wait for this potion or this, I don't know, these magic pills or whatever. And you know what the crazy thing is? There's been some people that they're like, oh, if only I just got an offer. If only I get an offer. And that's why when you see all these guaranteed placements that get multi-million dollars a month to them because they offer this guaranteed placement. It's freaking easy. Like I placed over 20 people yesterday on setting opportunities without offering any guaranteed placements. And it's not that it's the placements. And I keep telling people, it's not that you need a placement because wherever you go, you will be. If you haven't worked on yourself, if you haven't improved yourself, wherever you go, the problem's gonna lie. And
Yeah.
it's not like, oh, you need a placement. You need to get, because once you land in that role, guess what you have to do? You have to now perform in that role. And half of
Yeah.
these guys are not even ready. And I'm like, okay, you want to be an appointment setter? You want to be a phone setter? You want to be a closer? How many role plays are you doing a week? And this
Yeah.
is where it baffles me. It absolutely baffles me of
Well,
people.
I think that some people the reason why they don't do it is because they're they're in their like they're in this space and they're trying to get this success for somebody else. But you have to do this for yourself. You have to do the development for yourself so you can become a better human. It's just like this, like most people that go to like rehab from drug addictions, most of them don't end up getting clean. Why? Because they're doing it for someone else or they're forced to, right? So a lot of the
Mm.
times I feel like people in this space, they're doing it for too many outwards reasons. And because of that, they're blind to see that the only reason that you need to find is the one in yourself. So I find a lot of people, they're doing it for outwards approval or for someone else whenever you should be learning and developing for your own life. I mean, that's what I think. Because I mean, that was a mistake I made. I was doing it for other people's approval for a long time, and I never learned anything.
Mm. Well, I'm loving this, and everybody in the chat is loving this as well. But I want to ask you, bro. So let's just say, because I want to create some scenarios for you. I want to see how you would deal with that. So let's just say,
Okay.
because I've got a few setters right now that are they're part of like their Facebook groups and the DM setters in Facebook groups. And what would you like? What would be like some of the tips that you could give these guys that are like DM setters, or they're outbound setters? On social media, etc., or they're going to be manning, a Facebook group. And I know you've got lots and tons on this as well because you sent me that amazing document as well. What would you advise on them for the first few things that they probably need to do outside of like getting their profile ready
Yeah.
and whatever?
So this is super funny, and anyone can do this. If you guys go into JD Daly's Undeniable Sales Closer group, and if you type in my name at the top of that group, you will see probably like 30 to 40 videos of me 3 years ago, long ass hair, me walking in a field,
Remember,
making videos talking about stuff. So number one thing is like if you're not getting the results you want, it's because you're not putting yourself out there enough. So the first thing you need to do, even if you think it's not valuable, put yourself out there. Make posts, interact in groups, post in groups. Best way to make money. Again, you can go and watch those videos. Like they weren't anything good, but like You got to start
What kind
somewhere,
of
right?
posts? What kind of posts would you put in a group? What are you
Um,
thinking? What's your thinking behind the posts that you're putting in?
so people have limiting beliefs on if they can land roles and get results. So one thing that really helped me was going through like Tony Robbins podcasts and like Jim Rohn. So I would literally take Jim Rohn quotes in Tony Robbins posts. I'd put them into a script and I would say it to myself on a camera. Then I would edit it and then I would upload it. So like it's
I
like
love
it's
it.
not that hard, you know what I mean? It's like it's
Mm,
just exchanging value. Like you could say one quote online and it could hit that one person so deeply. Like like everyone shares quotes and motivations, but there's always that one quote or something that like really hits you home. You're one
mm.
you're one post away from that.
You,
And maybe that one
you.
post you'll make will attract the person you want to work with. But yeah, putting yourself out there and more importantly being consistent with it. So
Thank you, bro. What else would you like to share with these aspiring appointment setters?
yeah, that's a good question. I've been watching people like you and a lot of other individuals have so much success for such a long time, like helping individuals, you know, get more skill sets and get placement. And funny enough, before I just hopped in here, I just hopped off of a masterclass I did. I think some of you were probably on it, where I had over 115 students. And what I've decided to create is very similar to Jabran, is a community. I made it on school because I truly believe school is the future. Now, what would you guys actually get from potentially joining this group? It's free, by the way, for the first few weeks. You're going to get access to not only like eight-figure scripts and in-depth 80 to 90 page documents on how to become the most successful appointment setter over DMs or over calls, but I'm also going to teach you like the in-depth networking strategies that you can do to put yourself in the best position to get access to the right people so you can make 1% money. So if you guys are open to joining it, I will post a link in the comment sections of the posts on Facebook and on YouTube, and I'd love to have you guys a part of it. It's been a long time coming, and I want to provide more value to you guys.
What they expect to see in that group?
Live trainings, access to eight-figure scripts, live training on and documents on networking, how to get access to the top 1% networks.
You're going to be doing live coaching training on there as well.
Correct.
What would you do with a newbie right now anyway? Let's just say it's a newbie. They've got a bit of experience in sales, not that huge, but they've got some experience in customer service and they want to be an appointment setter. What would be your actionable steps with them?
Understand why you want to become one. And understand, okay, now that you understand why you want to become one, what is an ideal situation for you? Who do you want to work with? Where do you want to work with? Why do you want to work with them? And then after you understand why you want to become an appointment setter and who you want to work with, and you just take action to provide value as much as possible into the communities that will get you those opportunities.
Mm.
Again, so it's all about being clear and concise about what you want. If you don't know what you want, you're never going to get anything. Or you're never going to be satisfied. You have to be very clear and concise. You got to tell yourself what you want.
How did
I know
you
that's all like
book?
woo woo and it's all like spiritual and stuff, but like
Mm.
it's so true.
No, it is. You need to get clear with what you want. Otherwise, how are you going to know when once you've even got it? Um, I want to ask though, Chris. How did you? Well, what were your biggest wins? What were your biggest wins? You know, outside of the awards and everything, what have you been able to do with like the high ticket money that you earn, or if you want to share your biggest
Yeah.
paychecks, etc., and like your
Yeah,
biggest
so
highlights
my biggest check was $12,000
as a
a month
setter?
as
Wow.
as a coach, as a closer at seventh level. That was like my biggest check doing that specific area. Um, my highlights from this is my financial and time freedom. In the past 2 years, I've made close to like over $200,000 in online. And this has allowed me to travel all across Canada, across the US. I moved out. I've had access to an extremely nice condo in one of the main cities here in Canada. Um, it's just allowed me to have a massive stress off my shoulder, and it's allowed me to be more advanced than um, most of my classmates that I grew up with. Let's just say that. It's a super nice feeling whenever you came from the bottom and you put in the work and now people are recognizing it,
And it
right?
from the bottom, now we're here.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
That's
Exactly.
crazy. Was there anything that you did for any of your loved ones with the money that you made, or anything that you've done or you plan to do?
I have supported my mother for the past little while, and I'm very proud to say that.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyone can
Good.
do it, man.
Good on you. But you're even that old, actually. How old are you, Chris?
Sorry?
How old are you?
Let's play a guessing game. How old do you think I am?
Are you a baby back in seventh level? Let's just see anyone in the comments can tell us how old or young Chris is. I'm gonna guess though. I think you are 21 years of age, maybe 22.
21.
21. See
I,
what
s-
got it.
I started out whenever I was 17 at seventh level. Yeah.
I remember your baby face when you started.
Yeah, man.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
man.
Okay,
It's
bro, finishing off. I want to go dive deep into what you did with Iman Gatti's team. Like, how did you land the role with Jeremy, and how did you land the role with Iman?
Jeremy was through networking on Facebook, posting videos every day, harassing people through DMs, providing as much value as possible. I ended
How
up
were you
doing that
harassing
so
them
much.
through the DMs? What were you doing? Slow down. You've
I
given
don't
this too much value too quickly.
I don't mean harassing, but like, look, people make posts on Facebook all the time. People make posts on social medias all the time. Interacting with their stuff, messaging them, helping them out. Like that's the small things equal to the big things. So how I got working with Jeremy is purely for through networking on Facebook. How I work with Iman is super interesting. This is a strategy that I've perfected whenever I want to work with high level influencers. I identify who I want to work with, which was Iman, and I figure out, okay, you can't go directly to Iman because it's impossible. Who's below him? Who are his salespeople? Who are his setters? Who are his managers? I found that out very easily by going on his Instagram and finding all of his salespeople and setters. I ended up reaching out.
How did you? Slow down, slow down, slow down. Some of us,
Yeah,
we don't know how to do this, bro. We don't know how to do
yeah.
this. Well, I know
It's
how
it,
to do it, but some of these guys don't know how to do it.
yeah, so it's
So,
very simple. You identify who you want to work with.
man, so
You
you
go
find
on
out
their
Iman's profile. Okay, you found that. Now, what did
yeah.
you do?
I went to who he's following on Instagram. I saw everyone that he followed were his salespeople, his setters, his VAs, all that stuff. So I said, okay, you know, I've done sales training, I've done appointment setting. I can get along with some salespeople. So I ended up following all of his salespeople. Luckily, some followed me back, and we strung up a very easy conversation, saying, "Hey, man, I saw you worked at Educate." And then we went back and forth, hopped on a call for free value because I gave him access to a script to help him sell more. The salesperson hopped on a phone call with me. I gave him 2 free coaching sessions to help him increase his sales in Iman's company. And after 2 sessions of helping him out for free, I said, "Hey, man, out of curiosity, is Iman hiring or is he looking for people to work in there?" And then from there, he referred me directly to Iman's CEO, Paul, and I went on an interview and landed it. But the reason why I landed it was because of referrals. Most of business interactions nowadays are based off of referrals. So that's just like one
100%.
small, yeah, it's super easy.
I referred. Like, look, it's crazy. Like right now, there's business owners that are waiting for me to refer them people. But I'm like, look, there's not enough people that I've worked with in the past few weeks that I can. The ones that I've worked with for months, I know I can refer them. Or if some the people that I know of solidly, because I've got a reputation as well. But bro, like I yesterday, I like the business owner. He's done 500 million. He's got over 500 million in sales that he's generated. He's got all the ClickFunnels awards possible. He took on a ton of people without even interviewing them because they came through me, simply just by referring them.
That's it, bro. That's it. It's crazy.
Honestly, it is. And yeah, man, it's referrals. Oh, it's so that's crazy. So that's how you got landed with Iman. But look, honestly, look, it's been a pleasure having you, bro. I really love like everything that you've shared with us as well. And there's probably going to be lots of things to come from you as well.
Yep.
What we'll do is I want you to post your community. We'll put it on the Facebook group as well. We'll put it into either the comment section or the link or whatever. I'll post it on the video actually, so
Yep.
people can join to the community whilst
Look,
it's
so
free.
it has no impact on me if you don't join. It has no impact on me if you don't have
It's
access to the
bloody
right
value
skill
for them
sets.
anyway. They're going to be getting
Yeah.
to learn off you to join. And it's something that you're doing for me for them to join
Yeah.
because this is going to be a paid program later anyway. So you
Yeah.
might as well get into it right now. So if you're
Yeah.
watching this probably a few weeks, months, years later, I'm sorry you missed the boat because it's not going to be free then. But right now it is because Chris is just adding value to the Closers University, which I'm very thankful for. But thank
Got
you
it, bro.
very much, Chris. You'll see a lot of these guys probably reaching out to you now on Instagram and Facebook, adding you, and they're probably going to start DMing you now to pick your brains. But you're going to be going live in the school community as well, so that will be good. But it's a pleasure having you, bro, and maybe we can do this sometime again.
For sure, man. I appreciate your time.